right, good morning, everybody. Hope everyone is doing well on the other side today. My name is Julia. Good morning. I'm very excited to do some fun yoga stuff with y'all this morning. Um, if you have your own music, I would recommend going ahead and playing it since playing music, it might shut down the YouTube video. Nice, that's some more lighted. So this morning, what we are going to be working on is working with some hip rotation and some hip strengthening exercises. So if you have a blanket, two blocks possibly, and even a pillow, like if you have your own yoga bolster, that'd be cool. But if you just have like a standard pillow, that would be great as well. Could help us through some of our exercises. And as you go ahead and start to find yourself on the mat this morning. Playing very soft music for myself over here. Alrighty. So we can go ahead and begin our class in a child's pose here. So finding yourself onto your hands and knees, bringing the tailbone back and bringing the arms forward, crown to the ground. Allow yourself to take deep inhales. Inhale through the nose, out through the nose. As we are lengthening your tailbone towards the back of the room, crown towards the front. Hands pressing into the mat, feeling a little more energetic into the spine this morning. Good, so just allow yourself to find this sense of surrender here onto the mat. And then as you breathe, just allowing the space between each vertebrae of the spine increase. Feeling length into the spine, feeling an opening underneath our shoulders here. Taking nice and long. Let's go ahead, 2 more breaths here. Deep inhale, inhale through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's find a gentle twist for the morning. So let's thread the needle, take your left hand towards the ceiling, and then we're just going to exhale, thread the needle. Good, and then you can start to bring your tailbone up towards the ceiling, having your knees pressed together here, or possibly spread apart with the big toes to touch. Good. So we're going to continue with these deep inhalations, inhaling through the nose and exhale through the nose. Spine towards the ceiling. One more breath. And then to allow ourselves to get a little deeper here, we can grab onto the left wrist with the right hand and then guide the left shoulder directly underneath the right eye gaze over the right shoulder. Let's get a little bit more into the left arm here. One more breath. And then we can return the hand back onto the mat here with the right arm towards the ceiling, and then we can thread the needle, placing the right hand underneath, tailbone up towards the ceiling. And if you wanted more action into the right arm, we can grab onto the right wrist and send the right shoulder right underneath our left. Two more breaths. Nice. And then we can slowly release, coming onto our knees here. Good. And as we come onto our knees, we can go ahead and find some cat-cows here to find some spinal elongation. Rotate the elbow creases towards the front of the room. Inhale, chest lifts, tailbone lifts. Exhale, round through the shoulder, chin to chest. Inhale into your cow. Exhale into your cat. Good. 3 more rounds. And after the 3 rounds, we're going to go ahead and curl the toes and come into a plank. Rooting the hands into the mat. Bring your shoulders towards the ceiling. Bring the heels towards the back of the room. Good. Staying nice and strong here in your plank. 2 more breaths. Inhale, shift forward, chaturanga all the way to the mat. As we flip the feet, inhale, shoulders back, rise into cobra. Good. Exhale, release. Curling the toes. Inhale, rise, chaturanga, downward facing dog. Good. This is our first down dog, so go ahead and pedal out the knees if you have to here. Tailbone is going to be nice and high up into the sky. We're going to hollow out through the lower spine. Now bring the tailbone up. Stomach towards the thighs, chest in between the shoulders, and you go here for a few seconds to find some pedaling. Trying to find a way to block out the sun a little bit. Good. Nice, that might make it a little better here. Nice, and then as you go through your down dog, we're gonna round through the spine. So inhale, bring your shoulders towards the ceiling and shift forward into your plank, going through another chaturanga to the mat, into cobra, lifting with your chest, shoulders back. Exhale, release. Curl toes, chaturanga, downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet again. Get 1 foot at a time, rooting and expanding the hamstrings. Let's go ahead and round through the shoulders, shift forward, chaturanga into your cobra. Releasing, curling the toes, chaturanga, downward facing dog. Bend the knees generously, eye gaze forward. We're going to hop our way to the front of the mat, Uttanasana, forward fold. Find that inhale halfway lift. So bring the shoulders back, straighten out through the legs. Tailbone is towards the back of the room. Good. Then exhale. Find your forward fold. Hug through the spine. We're going to bend the knees generously. Take your hands onto the shins. Rotate your shoulders back and look forward here as if we are in an assisted chair. So from here, as we bend through the knees, bring the tailbone back. We're pressing your hands into the knees into the hands, rotating your shoulders back, opening up through the heart. Getting a little deeper into our squat. And then as we get a little deeper into the squat, we're going to isometrically, we're going to keep our feet into place, but we're going to expand through the glutes by rotating your feet outward. So we're keeping them rooted, but as we isometrically keep them in place and act as if we are trying to rotate them towards the corner of the mat, you'll feel an opening, a rotation into your glutes. Good, so you should feel nice and strong into our buttocks. And as we look through the chest here, we're going to bring the arms forward, rotate the shoulders into the girdle, and rise into a chair. Straight arms, biceps along side of our face. Good. And then we're going to inhale, rise. Continue the arms back into a back bend. And then palms together. Heart center. Good. Inhale, rise, arms back up. Create your back bend. And then exhale, hip hinge, shift forward here, hands onto the mat. We're going to go ahead, squeeze through the core and shoot back into your plank. Chaturanga, flip the feet. Inhale, upward facing dog. This time, press the feet into the mat. Send the chest forward, shoulders back. Good, press the feet into the mat, hike the tailbone up, downward facing dog. Got all through the feet. Good. Root through the left heel. Inhale, rise, right leg, three-legged dog. As we bend the knee and open up the hip crease, let's root through the right heel, or the left heel, I should say. Spend a couple breaths, spreading the knees as far apart as we can here, but keeping your torso into place. So bring in your right shoulder to square with the left. 3 more breaths. Good. Keep hip hinging here. After the 3 breaths, we can then go ahead and create some rotation with the right knee. Good. And then we're going to square through the hips, send the right knee to the chest, and place the right foot forward here in between the palms. Good. So we bring the left knee down, top of the left foot, Anjaneyasana, square the hips, arms are back, inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. Bring in that proud chest forward, arms back, rise up through the navel here. Good. Exhale, bring the arms up to the T. So bring the arms up to the T. Inhale, twist, bringing the left arm towards the front of the mat, right arm towards the back of the room. As we are keeping the top of the left foot pressing into the ground, bottom of the right foot. Good. If you wanted to, you can karate chop that left hand into the right knee, lift up through the chest, open up more to a deeper twist. Good. And then inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hip hinge, fold. Let's go ahead, come back into our vinyasa flow. Shift forward, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. And out through the knees. Good. Root through the right knee. Inhale, rise, left leg, three-legged dog. Bend the knee and open up the hip crease. 5 breaths here. Spread the knees as far apart as we can from one another. Good. And then after the 5 breaths, You start to open up some circulation into the left knee. Square through the hips. Inhale, send the left foot forward in between the palms. Strap in the right knee, top of the right foot. Prep for your Anjaneyasana here. So lift it through the chest, arms back, rotate the shoulders back, and inhale, rise, arms up, Anjaneyasana. Good. Nice. Lift up through the navel so we're not overarching into the little spine, allowing us to get a little deeper here. And then you can bring your arms out to the T, lift up through the chest, and inhale, twist over to the left side. Keep your arm forward, or you can karate chop your right arm so you can open up more with the left pec. 3 more breaths. Good. Inhale, rise, Anjaneyasana. Hip hinge forward, hands to the mat. Go to the right toe. Send the left foot back. Going to your vinyasa flow with an upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Nice. Pedal up through the legs. Bend the knees generously. Eye gaze forward. Inhale, hop your way into Uttanasana, forward fold. Hands to the shins. Find that halfway lift. Send the tailbone down into a little chair squat. Bring the knees together. And then inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling into chair. Press the palms together. Inhale, twist your chair to the right side. One more breath. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left side. Good. Inhale, center. Rise all the way up, high mountain, back bend if you wish. Palms together, heart center. Inhale, back into your chair squat. Lift it through the chest. Inhale, twist over to the right side. As we find this twist, engage through the right foot and inhale, send that left leg back. Going into a twisted lunge. Good. Inhale, heart, palms to the heart center. Good. Like right here, you can rise, arms all the way up into your high mountain. And we're going to go ahead and come into warrior 2 here. Good. And now, as we go into warrior 2, we are going to do some hip rotation and strengthening exercise where we are going to work our rotational muscles to send us into our lunge, and then we are going to send the bottom knee down into our Anjaneyasana low lunge, working the hips and the lower core here by sending us back into a high lunge and then rotating open to come into our warrior 2. And so we're going to do that for a total of 5 times on this side. Good. So as we're here with the warrior 2, we're going to inhale, rise, arms forward, lift up through the back ankle, drop the knee. Inhale, rise the knee, warrior 2. Good. Keep the knee in place. Inhale, rotate the heel up, drop the knee down. Inhale, rise, and then rotate the knee out, warrior 2. Good. 3 more times. So trying to keep your knee in the place as you can. It's totally okay if it's shifting out of place. Some movement is fine. And then after you've done your 3, come back to your warrior 2, reverse your warrior. And then exhale, warrior two. You might have your blocks nearby. So if they are in front of your mat, you go ahead, set a block about a foot in front of your right foot. And then you can come forward, hand onto the block, straighten the left leg, and come into your Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Nice. And then from here, as we are in the half moon, point the left toes back. And then inhale, lower the toes towards the ground, keeping the right leg straight. And exhale, rise. Inhale, slowly lower. Exhale, rise. And go ahead and do this for a total of 5 times. Keeping that left foot active. Bending the right knee, bring the left foot back. Warrior two. And inhale, rise, high mountain. Good. And the hip hinge. Forward fold, hands to the mat. Good. Let's go ahead and send that right leg back up here. 3-legged dog. Bend the knee, open up the hip crease, send the right foot back to the ground, coming into wild thing, lifting up through the hips, press the right foot into the ground and inhale. Send the right arm towards the front of the room. Open up through the chest. Arm up, side plank. Go ahead and engage that core. 3 breaths. Come into plank. Shift forward, chaturanga, vinyasa flow of your choice. Until you reach back to your downward facing dog. Go ahead and pedal out the feet. Bending the knees, eye gaze forward. Inhale, hop. Uttanasana, forward fold. You're making sure that the blocks are at the front of the mat here. Inhale, halfway lift. Come into your chair. Rotate the shoulders back, rise up into your chair. Palms to the heart center. Inhale, twist to your left side for a couple breaths, keeping the feet together here. For the next breath, you can go ahead and send that right leg back into a twisted lunge. Inhale, palms to the heart center. Rise into your high lunge. Good. And as we rise into our high lunge, keep the front knee bent. Rotate that hip crease open. Coming into your warrior two. Wonderful. So as we are here into our warrior two, we are going to go through those same segments again, where we are going to come into those rotational lunges and dropping the knee down and then opening back up into our warrior two. Trying our best to keep our front knee bent here, nice and strong into the pose. Let's go ahead, inhale, rise, bringing the arms forward, rotate that back heel up, front knee is bent, drop the knee down, inhale, rise, warrior stance, back leg, warrior two arms, 4 more times. It could be a little difficult if your mat is a little sticky from getting nice and heated in the morning. Good. And then after you have done it, your 5 times. Good. You can go ahead and reverse the warrior. Inhale, right arm. Left arm up towards the right side of the room. Front knee is bent. An additional breath. Then we're going to inhale, come back to warrior two, making sure that we do have a block in front of the left foot. If not, you can then go ahead, shift forward, hand to the ground or hand onto a block, rising the right leg towards the back of the room, right arm towards the ceiling, coming into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon here. Good. A couple breaths, opening up the chest, finding length in the torso. Back right foot is flexed. Good. Keep the bottom leg straight. Then as we keep the right toes pointed 5 times, inhale, bring the right foot towards the ground. Exhale, rise. Inhale, lower. Exhale, rise. Nice and slow and steady here. Nice. After you've done your 5 times, you bend through the front knee, warrior 2. Come back into your high lunge. Hip hinge forward, hands to the ground. Go ahead, send that left leg back into our warrior or our 3-legged dog. Bend the knee, send the left foot behind, right foot forward, rise up through the hips, and inhale, send the arm towards the front of the room. Wild thing. Good, left arm towards the ceiling, side plank. Nice strong core, 3 breaths. Send the left arm down, drop the knees, keep the hips up, coming into extended puppy pose. Tailbone active towards the ceiling, arm towards the front of the room. Bringing the chest towards the ground here. Yeah. And we can go ahead and either find ourselves onto our forearms or straight arms. It's definitely your preference here. But finding yourself into that tabletop position. Good. And from here, we're going to go into some fire hydrant workouts. So as we press the left foot into the ground, we're going to inhale, send the right knee up towards our chest. We're going to exhale to fire hydrant style. And as we're here into fire hydrant style, spread the knees far apart, keeping yourself nice and square. Good. And then from here, inhale, bring the right knee to chest. Exhale, fire hydrant. Inhale, right knee to chest. Exhale, fire hydrant. We're going to do this 8 more times for a total of 10. Finding that core engagement. Upper trap engagement to keep our body nice and strong. All right, so then once you do your full 10, you can drop your knee down, and you can actually send the right leg towards the back of the room here. Stretch out the right hamstring. Good. And you go ahead and drop the right knee down, sway your hips side to side, maybe do a little bit of wrist therapy if you need to. And you're rotating your palms together here. Nice. And then we're going to go to the opposite side here. We're going to work with the left side. So find your tabletop stance, making sure it's not too shallow for our spine. We're going to bend the left knee to our chest. We're going to exhale, fire hydrant style. Hold it for a couple breaths, spreading the knees apart, engaging your muscles. So pressing the right foot to the ground, the core is engaged. We're sending the core up towards your spine so that we aren't dipping into our little spine. Good. And then now do your 10 reps. Inhale, bend the left knee to the chest. Exhale, fire hydrant style. Inhale, chest. Fire hydrant. And trying to keep your torso into place as you're moving here so that most of the movement is from the hip alone. And through the knee. Good. And once you have done your 10, you can then go ahead, send that left leg back onto the ground, stretch out through the left hamstring. Good. Drop the left knee down. Go ahead, come into another extended puppy pose. So keeping the tailbone up, working with that hip hinge, bringing the stomach towards the thighs, chest towards the ground. Couple more breaths here. Let's keep the forearms onto the mat. Clasp onto the palms here, pressing the palms into the ground. Press the elbows into the ground, lift up through the chest, and then the tailbone. Is sending the chest in between your arms to open them up here in a dolphin plank. It's okay if your heels aren't rooted towards the ground. Okay, let's walk the toes just a little bit closer and sending the chest towards your feet here. Puffing in between your shoulder blades so that we can create some strength for our neck and our spine. Release the palms, straighten the arms, downward facing dog. Eye gaze forward. Let's go ahead, walk to the front of the mat, Uttanasana forward fold. Good. We're going to rotate the shoulders back. Inhale, halfway lift. Good. And then we're going to exhale, forward fold. And from here, we're going to go ahead and then inhale, rotate the shoulders back, rise all the way up into high mountain. Good. And then as we are in our high mountain here, we're going to lift up through the navel 2 inches. We're going to bring the left toes just forward, create that hip hinge here for your warrior 3. Touch my ears here. Okay, cool. We'll take a step back so I don't have to. Nice. Awesome. So as you're here into your warrior 3, inhale, rise, arms up, bring your knee up to follow into the chest. Good. And then exhale, hip hinge, send the left leg back. Inhale, rise, left knee up to the chest. Exhale, hip hinge, warrior 3. And if it's easier, you can bring your palms into the heart center. If our shoulders are feeling especially tight today. Good. Total 5 times, keeping the left foot flat, making sure that you don't rush through this. Don't lose our balance. That we're keeping our feet active. And it's okay if our hip hinge isn't as gradual today. After the 5 times, you can release. Go ahead and roll out through the ankles. Got a little ankle therapy here. I'm going to go ahead and restart onto the right side. So either arms out or palms together. I'm going to choose to keep my palms together for the sake of the video today. We're going to go ahead, root to the left foot, engage that glute. We're going to point the right toes onto the mat towards the back. We're going to keep the right foot flexed so that we can keep those hamstrings open here. Palms to the heart center, rotate or point the toes back. Inhale, hip hinge. Good. Coming into warrior 3, engage the core. And then inhale, rise, right knee up towards the chest. Exhale, hip hinge, right toes back. I'm going to do this 3 more times for a total of 5. Good. Nice. Then after you do your 5, toes are back, rise up, arms back bend, and then palms together, heart center. Let's go ahead and go to the wide part of our mat, spreading your feet apart here, coming to a wide-legged forward fold. So let's go ahead and take the hands by our hips, rotate our shoulders back as we clasp onto our hands here, making sure that these shoulders are in the girdle. Clasp your hands, bring the hands together here. We're going to hike the tailbone back, chest is forward, coming into a wide-legged forward fold, leading with the straight spine, tailbone towards the back of the room, chest forward. Then coming into a hip hinge, opening up through the glutes so that we can increase our range of hip hinge here. Three more breaths. Inhale, rise all the way up, high mountain. And from here, we're going to rotate both the feet out, come into goddess squat. So hands onto the front core, back core. Over here, making sure that our spine is straight, but our knees are coming out, our heels are in. Good, so engage that core, lift up through the stomach here, a little deeper to the thighs. Good. You can either keep the hands here or you can come into your goddess arms. As you come into your goddess arms, staying here for a breath, keeping ourselves nice and strong. Elbows are towards the back of the room here. We're going to inhale, come onto the left toes. Exhale, release. Inhale to the right toes. Good, exhale, release. And then from here, inhale, lift it through the left toes, straighten through the right leg. Good, release, goddess squat. Inhale, lift up through the right toes, straighten through the left leg. And then goddess. And go ahead and we're going to do each side 3 more times. So we're going to lift up through the toes and then straighten through the opposing leg. Lean back, goddess. Go to the opposite side. And then slowly transition it to one smooth glide. Keep that belly engaged. Keep the chest lifted, nice and smooth. Nice. And then once you've done it 3 times on each side, 5-pointed star. Clasp the hands behind your back. Exhale, hip hinge, forward fold. Good. You can release your hands bringing them towards the front of the room so it's like a wide-legged downward facing dog. Good. And we're going to go ahead, hands into the center here. And as our hands are into the center, we're going to bend through the right leg. And we're going to straighten the left leg, rotate the toes up. Then inhale, rise, left arm towards the ceiling, towards the right side of the room. Good. Release. Walk ninja over towards the left side, right toes and knees rotated towards the ceiling. Right arm towards the ceiling. Send it over towards the left side. Good. And then go ahead and go through those smooth transitions. 4 more times on each side. Snap, crackle, pop. And then once you have completed your 4 rounds, next time that you bend your right knee, good. Let's go ahead and rotate ourselves inward here, dropping the right knee, half splits. Good. Straightening out through the left hamstring. The toes are up or pointed forward. Chest is lifted. Good. Go ahead, rebend the front knee, Anjaneyasana. Maybe a back bend this time, get a little deeper to the front hip. Good, palms together to the heart center. And we're going to curl the right toes. And we're going to inhale, rise with the right knee, opening back up into goddess. And then we're going to go ahead and rotate our body towards the opposite side where the right knee is up in front, left knee is down. And then we're going to straighten out through the right hip. So bring the right hip back, straight through the right leg. Half splits. Toes are either up or towards the front of the mat here. Good. Couple more breaths. And we can find a rebend to the right knee, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. Anjaneyasana, back bend if you wish. Palms to the heart center. Curl the left toes, getting nice and strong into the hips. Engage the lower core here. Inhale, rise back up into goddess. Nice. And then straight through the legs. Point the toes to the front of the room. Send the right leg to meet the left. And then we're going to spread the feet apart. Keep the palms together. Rotate the toes out. And then inhale. Nice squat. Good. Come down into a Malasana squat. Chest is lifted. Back is straight. Knees are out. You can use the elbows to press the knees away and knees to press the elbows in. 3 more breaths. And then you can bring your glutes to the ground here. We're coming close to the end of class. Good. And so if you have either like a blanket or a pillow nearby, you can go ahead, place it to the side of your mat here. We're going to rotate your shoulders back and inhale, rise, chest up towards the ceiling. Engage the core and send your shins parallel to the mat into boat pose here. Good. And then inhale, rise. Point your arms forward and point your legs straight into boat pose, or you can grab onto the thighs here. Bring the chest up. Good. We're going to go ahead and bend through the knees. Find yourself onto your spine. And as we are here onto the spine, we're going to come into inverted staff pose, and you can grab a blanket or a bolster or pillow. Place the blanket on top of your feet here. And we're going to inhale, rise. Come into staff pose, hands onto the ground here. So essentially what the blanket or bolster, pillow, whichever you use today, is just using as a grounding tool to help influence our hips to be glued to the ground while having a grounding sensation on our feet as if we were standing. Good. And then we are going to slowly, good. We're going to bring the blanket onto our shins here. Good. And as it's onto our shins, we're going to point our toes to the front of the room, and we're going to inhale, extend our leg forward like we would in boat pose, and exhale, bend the knees back into our chest. Inhale, straight forward. Exhale, bend the knees into our chest. And do this 5 more times. While pressing the back of our hands into the ground, shoulders are connecting. And then slowly lower your legs all the way to the mat. Keeping the blanket onto the shins or pillows onto the shins, give you a good grounding feeling. And then we're going to inhale, rise, stretch your arms to the top of the mat, point the toes to the front, and we're going to stay here for a few breaths. Good, nice and long to the body. Good. Take your final deep breath, inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Placing your hands wherever is comfortable, and allowing yourself to lie here in your Shavasana for the next few moments. You're more than welcome to stay in your Shavasana if you wish. But for those who would like to start getting up and moving for your day, you can start to find some micro movements of your fingers, toes, ankles, wrists. And you can slowly start to find a bend to your knees. Very slowly rotate onto the side of your body, left or right. And you can come up into a comfortable seated position. With your palms together, you can take a bow for yourself for making it to today's class and honoring and respecting your mind, your body, and your spirit. Thank you for coming to class this morning. And namaste. Hope you all have a good morning. Bye.